Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Look Back, where I take a look at games that I reviewed a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago, tell you what I think about them now. Although I didn't do anything this week 5 years ago, so just a year and 10 years ago this time. We'll start with a year ago. I reviewed Drawing Dead. Pretty terrible game. I mean, I'm still convinced this game was done just to show off kind of like a undead type Western thing, but it's awful. And then Forest, another awful game. It's a pretty little game. You put out these cards and you're trying to get groups of different objects, but it's just, there's nothing there. It's not really even a game. Fish and Chips. What a funny name, right? It's okay. Not even okay. Just, you're moving stuff around. I wasn't impressed with this one at all. Let's get to some games I was impressed with. Hexcalibur. This was a pretty interesting game. Very asymmetrical as you're placing out these hexes in a King Arthurian legendary type way, trying to fight different battles. It was a pretty neat little game. Panic Mansion. This is a game where you're moving a box around, trying to get different objects to go through doors, a dexterity style game. I think this one's just hitting America finally a year later, but if kids will really enjoy this one. Artifact Stack. This is where you're playing, you're grabbing cards from the face down and face up piles and putting them down, trying to get different sets, kind of like a Sushi Go, except it's a little bit more chaotic. And then we have Voyages of Marco Polo, Agents of Venice. Now this one's interesting. I think it's a decent expansion, but I played Marco Polo a few times since playing this expansion, and I've never asked to play the expansion. I'm like, I like it, but I can play without it. So that's kind of how it is. Password Express, a little fun party game, although recently some other party games have come out that are similar to this one that may make it not as, one that you should go out of your way to get. Then I took a look at Capital City. This game, despite the fact that I'm not a real big fan of most of the games in this line from Calliope, I think this one's the best. Some really interesting ideas. I love the artwork. I love the Western animal motif thing to it. Definitely one to check out. Anachrony. This game keeps going up for me. You'll notice that it's increased because there's just so much in this game. I like the time machine element to it. I like the worker placement. Then I also took a look at the expansion, Exosuit Commander, which is good. It's not necessary, but I'll always play with it. This is just a solid, cool game. Then there's Catacombs, Wyverns of Windward, adding things you can ride to Catacombs. I like it. And then Stuffed Fables, just an absolute fantastic game for kids and their parents to play together. A RPG-ish style game. Just amazing, great component quality, great story, everything. All right, so nothing 5 years ago. 10 years ago, I reviewed Ruby Gloom. Based on, I guess, the cartoon of that. Just kind of flip cards over to get them in the right numerical order. Meh. I also took a look at Gem Dealer. So 10 years ago, I started to take a look at all these little games that Eagle Gryphon was putting out. Some were better than others. Gem Dealer is just one of those forgettable ones. Sutter's Mill, that actually came out from Mayfair about gold mining. Some interesting ideas of moving around collecting gold mining, but again, in that whole nether regions of forgettable Euro games, unfortunately. I took a look at Age of Steam 3rd Edition. You'll notice this one has dropped considerably in 10 years. Not necessarily because the game is bad, but my tastes have changed considerably. I'd rather play Steam or Railroad Tycoon or, I'd rather play those games over this one any day of the week at this point in time. It's a little too punishing for something I want to play nowadays. And then, so I've been mentioning those games from Eagle Gryphon, Roll Through the Ages, a fantastic little roll and write game. I mean, the roll and write games are real big these days. Roll Through the Ages, still one of the best. Then Money was a little game here in which you were collecting different types of money. This game was a reprint when it came out 10 years ago from Reiner Knizia. So it's good, but I don't know if I've seen anyone play it recently. I took a look at the expansion for Dungeon Twister Fire and Water, one of my favorite expansions for that set, for that game anyway. And then the best of the lot of these card games that were coming out from Eagle Gryphon is easily For Sale, a game I still play today, a game that's great for 6 players. Just fantastic all around the board. For sale. All right, well, those are the reviews that I took a look at 1 and 10 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Look Back on the Dice Tower.